So, my partner's gone right now, and you might be thinking to yourself, Lucas, this isn't a gaming video. The Nebulites are wanting to play some games. Maybe you want something scary, maybe you want some ASMR, but that's not today. Basically, I got the desire, more like the strong need, to figure out how this tastes. And if you want some backstory on what I'm talking about, here's the inspiration. Concept. This is making me think of a concept. What if you took a candy apple, cut the candy apple in half, obviously core it, but cut the candy apple in half so you kind of have this shit going on, and then put a burger in the middle. The burger, the cheese, and maybe something like arugula so that it would taste a little bit better. It's almost like a grilled cheese then, but like you get that sweet component. Let me know if you think that's a horrible idea or a good idea. I might try it. Okay, so we're getting into making a candy apple first. So I'm gonna walk you through it. So I wanna give you guys some backgrounds and some disclaimers here. Working with sugar can be dangerous. So you're gonna make sure that you take some steps. If you find yourself here on this video and you're like, I wanna make a candy apple burger, then please consult an adult, someone responsible, who can make sure that everything's safe, because boiling sugar is dangerous. You will get burns. If you do get burned, if it's a smaller burn, rinse it under cold water, take the appropriate first aid steps. If you spill it over yourself, make sure you get help. All right, now let's get into it. We'll go over some of the ingredients I have here first. Okay, so I have my handy dandy clipboard. I have a background in a little bit of pastry arts, actually. When I was in high school, I did up to grade, I believe, 11 of a whole bunch of pastry arts class. So I learned how to do a whole bunch of different things, including working with sugar. You're gonna need apples. Obviously, you cannot make candy apples without apples. You're gonna need 1.5 cups of water. You're gonna need 1 cup of corn syrup. I prefer using light and clear corn syrup, food color. You're gonna need some food coloring of your choice. You can make whatever colored candy apples you want. Honestly, it doesn't have to be red. You can go with green. So you're gonna need 2 cups of sugar. I have 10 apples in front of me, but if you wanna make more than that, please be my guest. Now, we're working with sugar, so we're gonna skewer these. We're gonna put these in. We're gonna shove them into the apples because we're not gonna touch our hands in the sugar. No, no, no. Big no-no. Silicone mats. Silicone mats are awesome because the sugar will come right off of them and you'll be left with no mess. You won't be worrying about parchment paper. You won't be worrying about stickiness. It's great. And of course, I have my pot or my saucepan. Okay, so let's make some candy apples. I'm really excited. Let's do this. Okay, so step 1, let's put the apples. Step 1. Let's put all the little skewers into the apples. It's really easy if you get pointed tip ones because then they can like go right into the apple. You kind of just want to push it in. I'm using what are my favorite apples, which are called Cosmic Crisps. If you want to take a look at them, they are absolutely phenomenal. They have these little spots that look like stars and they taste really good. They're a combination of sweet, tiny bit soured, but not too sour. Like green apples are way too sour. And then, yeah, the color is beautiful. The texture, they're nice and crisp. They're always crisp. You'll never get one that's mush. That's what I don't like about Red Delicious. They taste great, but mush. So we're just gonna skewer these in there. How's everyone's day going? I hope that when you also get ideas of you're like, I wonder what that's like, that you explore it, because I think life is too short not to be like, candy apple, but make it a burger. Inspired by R.E.P.O. Thanks. Whoever designed that asset, it's your fault. I'm doing this. Okay. Now that I have all my sticks in the apples, we're actually gonna get starting on making the sugar. Okay, so now we're gonna get into making the sugar process. So let's do that. So first step, we did our apples, they're clean, they're stamped. Second, we're gonna take our saucepan. I have one that's made of stone. Remember, if you're working with sugar and find yourself here and you're not an adult, remember this channel's not for kids, but if you do, make sure you use something that you're not worried about getting ruined, because if you've never worked with sugar before, it is a possibility. So, We're gonna turn on our stove onto medium heat. We don't want any higher than that because you don't want to burn sugar. Burning sugar equals flames equals fire. I have my 2 cups of sugar into the pot. I have my 1 cup of corn syrup into the pot. I have my 1.5 cups of water. So let's pour that in. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give this thing a little bit of a stir before it gets warm. Because if you don't know and you haven't worked with sugar before, you don't want to be stirring it while it's boiling, because what happens if you get a little crystal in the water is you're basically hypersaturating or supersaturating the water. There's gonna be way more sugar than the water can hold, but it's okay because it's at a high temperature. Science! But once it starts boiling and it gets to that state, if one crystal gets in there, it's going to turn chunky and kind of like brittly, and you don't like that texture. We want smooth, silky sugar. Okay, so I've given that a little bit of a stir. We're gonna wait on that. It's gonna come to a boil, and we're good. All right, so we got to 150 degrees. We took the sugar off of the stove because we don't want it on the heating element anymore. Now, I'm gonna be very careful when I do this because I'm gonna stir in some food coloring. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take out the thermometer and I'm gonna place it on the side. Remember, it's hot. Sugar's hot. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna place a couple drops of food coloring into the pot. Bloop, 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 bloop. And we'll give it a stir. Look at that beautiful red color. So for the burger heart, I thought that we would just stick it simple. You know, the whole preface behind this is that, like, if you've ever had a grilled cheese that has had an apple in it, you know that it's quite phenomenal. So I thought that we would kind of go about that route. We're not doing any ketchup or mustard because, ew, that's gross. But especially with apple, So I got some apple brined bacon that we're gonna put on it as well. I also got 2 different types of cheese. I got my favorite cheese from, I believe it's Holland. Yeah, it's my favorite cheese from Holland. It's called it's just a smoked Gouda. And then I also got a Switzerland Emmental cheese because I think the 2 combos of the stronger cheeses will actually play really well. And then I got a very simple burger from Thrifty Foods because I live in British Columbia on Vancouver Island, so we have that. So I'm just gonna cut up a simple thing. I didn't want any onions because onions are gonna ruin the flavor. We're not going with that. We're actually gonna try and make this work. And then I got some arugula because arugula goes pretty much well on anything. So let's do that. And I wanna try and get it like big slices because I want this to look cool too. Like, I got a full candy apple. Come on, like, Also, why was this necessary? It wasn't. No one asked for this, but we're doing it nonetheless. Oh, jeez. Look at that. Nice big piece of cheese. So we got that. We got some arugula that we're gonna put on. And remember, there is no bun because we're using a candy apple. Now, always practice food safe. So I'm gonna put the bacon in the pan and then I'm gonna wash my hands. All right, so all that nice apple bacon is done. It's gonna be nice and crispy. I'm gonna set it on the side so that I can have it like, you know, get all the oil dripping off. But this is the fun part. So I'm gonna use this oil or the grease from the burger, from the bacon, and we're gonna cook the burger. Because to quote Mother Monster, and I apologize for any vegans in the room, if you kill a cow, you gotta make a burger. All right, everything is off the heat now, and we're getting one step closer to 100% completion of candy apple burger. Woo! Okay, but in order to make candy apple burger, ignore the mess in the background. It's a kitchen, we're cooking. It's gonna be messy, but remember, just like ratatouille, you gotta keep your workstation clean. Okay. So, as I can't eat it like this, I said we have to core it, right? Remember the inspo photo? So let's take the stick out. Take the stick out. And we're gonna cut this in half and then we need to core it. So I'm gonna take the knife that I've already been using. I just cut the cheese with it. I didn't cut anything else. And I'm gonna try very carefully. Hey, I think I did a pretty good job of actually salvaging that. Okay, so we got that. Now we need to core the candy apple. I don't really have an apple corer, so I'm gonna take a ice cream scoop and just scoop out the center. Okay, now that I made a mess of that, we have our apple without the core because ew, why would we do that? And now everyone, I have all the ingredients I need in order to make a candy apple burger. Look at this. We got the candy apple, nice and crispy on the outside, perfect sweetness on the inside. We got the apple brined bacon, which will go with that. The arugula to add some little bit of more crunch. We got two types of cheeses to kind of make that grilled cheese vibe. And of course we got our burger. Now there's no bun because this is the bun. Nobody asked for this, but I did it anyway. Welcome to my free time. All right, so I'm like stoked to get into this. After all that cooking, just sandy my hands, make sure that there's nothing on it. And look at this bad boy. Oh my God. It's a monstrosity. How do I even eat it? Well, right off the bat, I got burger, so, but we need to get that apple bite. Ugh, the ingredients I picked are good. Wait. It's hard on your teeth. So, I definitely don't recommend this for your teeth. Be careful if your teeth are sensitive. But it's kind of good. Now, as much as I would love this to be a mukbang, I'll show you that I eat all of it. But I will. Oh, yum. Okay, I'm not just talking to you guys with my mouth full. So I'm not just saying this because, you know, I created it and I like it. but I really like it. The flavors go really well together. Now, what I don't like is how hard the candy apple exterior is. Now, it's totally giving, like the thing from R.E.P.O. I almost said Fortnite, but the thing from R.E.P.O. and like, shit, like, I did a good job. Look at this. So Nebulites, if you had a fun extra video on a Friday, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see me do more random stuff. Fridays sometimes will be gaming videos and sometimes it'll be shit like this because, you know, why not? When you get the urge to make something that you see in a video game, do it. It might turn out good. So I'll see y'all next time. Bye!